Hey guys, this is Andrew Holton, and I'm gonna show you guys my trading strategy. So I've been using this strategy for about a year, fine tuning it, tweaking it, looking at the problems, and that's why people say, to get your own strategy. Because when you have your own, you know what you're looking for, you know how to tweak it, you know how to, yeah, what to look for, I guess. Because, like, trading is not just, sometimes it's not as black and white as it seems. Alright, so first I'm looking at the 30 minute, then I'm looking at the 3 minute, and then I'm looking at the 1 minute, right? So I have my MACD and I have moving averages. The moving averages are set. The blue line here is set at 8. This one's 21, and then this one is a 200 moving average, right? So what I do is this is the 30-minute chart. So what I'm looking for is on the MACD for my trend. So on my trend here, we're in a downtrend right now. So I'll put a marker there. I usually put in black so it doesn't disturb me too much. I like to keep my charts pretty clean. So I'm looking from this line over, I'm looking for a downtrend. Then also I look for major areas of like support and resistance, because it's like a game changer when you use support and resistance coupled with like indicators. It's like, not a lot of people do that. A lot of people just want to learn the indicators, but support and resistance levels really help in market structure. Like right here we got, I would say we actually got like a downward, we got like a triangle actually kind of forming a little bit. Kind of like we're trading in a channel, but at the same time the channel's acting like a triangle. So, alright. So right now we got our kind of our market structure, and let's put one more around right here. Alright. So we're looking at so we got our market structure, we got where we want to place our trades to the downside, and we got, some areas, these support and resistance areas where I like to take profit usually, or supply and demand zones actually. I like to take my profit on supply and demand zones. So it'd be like something like that. Alright. And then the support and resistance, you can kind of like use those as guidelines for potential reversals, okay? So then we're gonna go down to the 3-minute, and then from the 3-minute now we're looking for like we're looking for a price to cross over the 21 moving average. So the price is crossing over this 21 moving average, or the 8 MA is gonna cross over the 21, right? So like here we got the price crossed over the 21 moving average, but the 8 MA didn't. So then we know, like, not to place a trade here. So this is where it becomes tricky. This is the place in my strategy where it becomes tricky. And usually you sometimes get this during low volume. So when there's low volume, you gotta be careful. Like right here, there's not a lot of volume, right? So I usually draw like, I usually put like a line, a reminder line to kind of be careful at low volume, which is around the 4 area on the 3-minute, the 4 area on the 3-minute chart. And then I put one just below that too, like on the right there. Oh, yeah, right there. All right. So when I'm looking at low volume like this, then I'm pretty careful, And what I'm looking for in low volume, I call it, I don't know what the technical terms, but like you could say a 3-line strike, which is kind of not, it's a candlestick pattern, I think, 3-line strike, but what I'm looking for here is this, especially in low volume, and I'm going to the downside. So this is going up, this line's going up, but I'm looking to the down. So we have one cross to the down, this second cross to the down, and then we got where we would place our trade, which is right there. So on the third cross to the downside, I usually look at, you know, trades from here. So one cross to the down, two cross to the down, and then on the third one, I'm in. You know, and that's for low volume, right? So like for example, So for example, let's say, you know, this trade here is not a low volume trade, right here. This trade is high. It's pretty high volume. It's right, and so like when this area gets to a higher level on, like, let's say the 10 or something, then we can start looking at, you know, taking the trade. So like this trade was pretty smooth. There was no like up and downs. There wasn't many crosses over on the MACD. It's a pretty smooth trade. So here's a pretty good chance that I'm gonna take a trade. But it's only these areas for my strategy. It's only these areas that you gotta watch out for, the low volume areas. And then when it crosses over a lot, just make it. If you're like, go in the direction. So if it was to go up, you go 1 up, 2 up, and then if it was to do the 3 up here, then we would get on that. All right. So the 1 minute, sometimes I place my trades on the 1 minute, sometimes I place my trades on the 3 minute, but I found out that usually, like, I get a better entry. Like, see, I get an entry up here when on my 3 minute I was getting it down here. So usually I get a better entry, so I wait for that to cross around here. I place my trade right there, and then I put my take profit at the next level. So this level was right there. So you see how there's like a supply and demand zone right here, and kind of some support and resistance coupled with a supply and demand zone. So a supply and demand zone essentially is just like I like to look at like the biggest move. So like this was a big move, right? And so I like to place where my next take profit is, like right at the end of that big move, just above the candles here. So above those candles, I like to place my take profit. And then if it's coupled with like a support here, and then I'm pretty confident that the price is gonna hit back a little bit. So I actually took this trade today, but I erased my charts to kind of give you a look at what I'm doing. So I placed this trade today, and I got like $300. I placed this trade like right there at my supply zone right there. And then as you can see, it was fulfilled, and it backlashed. It went back up, you know, where I was thinking it would. And then I might, you know, well, it's kind of, I'm in the middle of a video, but I would place another trade somewhere around here. But I usually don't do that. I usually wait for the blue line, so it'd have to come back up through the 21 and then back down, and then I like to place my trade. So yeah, I like to place my trades on the 1 minute. I use the 3 minute for, you know, just kind of like I'm gauging what the MACD is doing. So if the MACD is crossed here, or it's losing volume to the downside and it crossed, then I'm looking also on the 1 minute to place my trade. So like the MACD usually crosses before the price to cross over the 21. So like the MACD crosses, hop over to my 1, I look at it, make sure that everything's good there, place my trade. And yeah, like I said, this is my favorite setup on low volume. So you got your 1, and then you got your 2 to the down, and then the 3 is where you would take your trade, okay? And then the third thing, the final thing that I look for is divergences, right? So like, this is why I was really confident in my trade today, because of the divergence, right? So here we got, and if you don't know what a divergence is, then you should, on Baby Pips, you could go check it out. Just type in babypips.com. It's a free course. I totally recommend that. That's how I got started on my trading journey. I've been about trading for like a year and 3 months now. So, yeah. So let's see. So this was a divergence right here. So we got, So we got a higher high on the MACD, right? we got a higher high. That means that it's extended. That means the price is getting tired. The sellers are getting tired. The price is extended, right? But here we got a higher high and a lower low. But here we got a lower low and then a higher high. So this tells me that the price is already getting tired at this area, but it's lower than this, right? So it's already getting tired. So I know that the possible for a downtrend is highly likely for it to go pretty down. And I'm thinking it'll probably go down to this level, maybe even farther, but that's where I'd put my take profit if I was trading on the 30-minute. That's kind of where I'm looking at this trade to go. Alright, so that's my strategy, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, appreciate it.